Hello there, Internet. I am keeping up with my storytelling here. I am telling yet another story of a guitar that I had growing up that I actually acquired from the same person as my last video. This is a guitar that is kind of a makeshift throw together, and it has some damage to it. And whenever I was younger, I decided to go ahead and try to see if I could get this thing going anyway, despite the fact that it had some damage to it, which I will show off here in a second. And my solution was simply to move the bridge to a different location on the body of the guitar, and this way I could actually throw some strings on it and have it make noise. Back during that age, I was not aware that the bridge had to be at a specific location on the guitar, otherwise it would throw up the intonation significantly. And that's exactly what happened. But whenever you're that young, I mean, this was back before I even knew how to play guitar. I still don't know how to play guitar. I'm not very good at it. But back then, I was looking to have a guitar that I could do something with. Now, the bridge at the time was coming off the guitar. Let me go ahead and just show off the guitar right here. This is my unknown, unbranded guitar from who the hell knows how long ago. This guitar is not the best, and up here is our problem. Whenever I had gotten these guitars, that bridge is coming off again. Whenever I had gotten these guitars, I had picked them up from a buddy of mine who had them in his attic, and he had them up there for a lot of years, and the attic was like open to the elements, and the guitars were basically destroyed from humidity from Florida, and just the heat and the sun, and they were not well taken care of at all. But they were up there in the attic of my buddy's house, and at the time that I'd gotten this, there were no strings on it. I think this one had the bridge on it though, but I could be wrong about that, but not like that matters. But the bridge I have is destroyed anyway. My buddy had like a pile of old guitar parts, and he ended up tossing me a bridge that I could like screw onto this thing, and that's exactly what I did. And the issue is the part of the guitar where the bridge would normally go has been so rotted and destroyed, like that's why there was no bridge on this, because the bridge had been completely taken off. That's why I have this duct tape over it right here. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and just peel this off so you guys can see what's underneath here. This part right here where the bridge is supposed to go has been absolutely demolished. The entire guitar needs to be completely redone if I want to continue to play any of it. As a matter of fact, the body itself is essentially completely shot. I might just take the neck off, and because the neck still seems pretty decent. But I might take the neck off and use it in like another guitar build or something like that. But because the bridge was coming off of this thing, I was like, well, I'll just put the bridge in a different spot. And this bridge was falling apart. That's why my buddy had given it to me, because he didn't want it. He was going to throw it away as well. And I was like, hey, I'll take it and see if I can make it work. So I used a couple of wood screws. I kind of stick the bridge onto the body of the guitar right here. I'm going to do it in another spot that is different than where the bridge is actually supposed to be going, right? So that, oh, hey, look, a guitar string from the inside of the guitar. I wonder how long that's been in there. We'll put that to the side. But originally I did try putting the bridge where the bridge area was coming apart, but of course as soon as I put any tension onto the strings, it was just ripping off, and I elected to move the bridge a little bit forward to try and make up for, well, to try and get the guitar at least where it will make some noise. Now, the bridge is not the correct bridge for this guitar. Of course, there's not a nut on the bridge or anything like that. I never really bothered with that with this thing. And the bridge is coming off, well, not coming off, the bridge is like broken and it's trying to snap in half here. And I have some nylon strings on this guitar because I do not want to put steel strings on this thing until I get it, you know, actually set up. I'm probably going to redo the face on this guitar and throwing actual bridge on it that is supposed to be the bridge it's supposed to go with. I like this guitar, and I want it to actually become something. I don't think I'm going to do anything with the guitar that I showed off in the last video, just because the guitar that I had showed off in the last video is not really worth my time. But this one seems to be a really stable, solid guitar, so I might just redo a couple of little aspects of this thing to get it going again. I'm not sure what the wood is on this thing. but the neck on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. The tuners are fantastic. Anyone who can tell me anything about these tuners, I do not know what they are. I will leave that to the guitar community to tell me what the hell these tuners are, but they seem to be half decent, especially in comparison to some of the other tuners that I've been rocking. So I pull this guitar out of this dude's attic, and I'm like, you know what, let's just have it make noise. So I stick this half destroyed bridge on the thing, and I throw some nylon strings on it. I'm fairly certain that this is a steel string guitar, especially because it's got a truss rod inside of it. Most of your classical guitars don't have that truss rod, but I don't want to throw steel strings onto this thing because the bridge is broken and it's just not very good right now. So until I get around to actually redoing the guitar itself, then I'm not going to throw any steel strings on it. I wanted to make a video about this guitar and its condition before I actually go about redoing it. So that's why I'm putting up this video. And I mean, it sounds half decent for what it is. I just can't go too high up on the fretboard because the intonation of the guitar is really, really off. Like if I were to do, I don't know, let's just do E. That's an E minor, that sounds pretty good. Regular E, that sounds alright. A minor, regular A. Actually, I think this is A minor. This should be A7. I mean, the guitar sounds alright for what it is. So, whenever I was younger and I made this, it was good enough for me, as long as I didn't go too high up the fretboard. Like if I start doing, oops, and then I hit that 7. You can hear just how high that 7 is in comparison to what it's supposed to be. Yeah, that does not sound the way that it's supposed to sound. But whenever I play from like the lower frets, it's not as bad as it is at the higher frets. I mean, it's still noticeable, but once you get to higher frets, like if I were to come up here to the, let's say the 12th fret, and I were to just do an open E, this is supposed to be the octave of that E. That's nowhere close to the octave of the E. It's like noticeably bad. Or the A. Here's A. Yeah, that's nowhere close to what it's supposed to sound like. And combine the location with the bridge with the high action of this thing, because the bridge is very much broken and coming apart on this guitar. Like, I literally cannot lower that action because the bridge itself has taken damage and the bridge is like folding itself in half. So I will replace the bridge whenever I redo the front end of this guitar here and put the bridge actually where it's supposed to be. But that will be later on. I wanted to show this one off next. I have several guitars that I'm going to show off. I wanted to show this one off next because I'm trying to show from like the worst guitar that I have to like the best whenever I'm talking about the guitars that I makeshift through together. And this one right here is one that is not that bad. I have another one which is a classical guitar that is actually half decent that I'll be showing off, but actually I'm curious. Let's do this one. Of this guitar. I like how deep it sounds. And it's definitely a good time to play. Playing this one in comparison to this one, which I just made a video on. If you haven't seen this one, it should be up on the channel before I put up this video. This one right here is like literally impossible to play. The action on this one is incredibly high. And despite the fact that was the one that I tried playing on the most of, this one is definitely the easiest to play. Between the nylon strings and the action not being nearly as high as the action on that one, it's actually pretty nice in comparison. Don't get me wrong, compared to an actually set up guitar, this one is the worst. But compared to that guitar right there, my $7 guitar build, this one is not that bad. So let's do something like this. I like the deep sounding nature of this guitar. I've always liked the deep sounding nature of classical nylon strings as opposed to the steel string acoustics. Now the steel string still has that deep sound to it, but the nylon strings, they resonate so well. They have that much warmer feel to them than the steel strings, in my opinion. I'm gonna say in my opinion because someone down in the comments is gonna go type in and they're gonna be like, hey, no, you idiot, man. This guitar with this setup and these strings does this right here. I'm like, all right, yeah, it does. Congratulations. I can't remember if it's 8 to 10 or 7 to 9 with this little lick right here. And I'm sure somebody down in the comments is gonna berate me for playing it wrong, but I don't think it matters with the intonation of this guitar being as set up the way that it is. I just want to hear how it sounds and see how far off it is compared to my other guitars. That's pretty bad. Yeah, alright. That is like noticeably, very, very noticeably off key. I'm not even going to finish that one. From what I can tell with this guitar, anything that is like 5th fret below is not, like 5th fret and below is tolerable, but once you start going 6th and above, you really start to notice the different changes in the tones and whatnot just from the location of the bridge. And that's just the nature of the beast with these things right here. If you don't have everything done properly, then it's going to end up sounding off. And this is very much not properly done, but it is a hell of a lot better than my $7 guitar build. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and show this one off. It's a fun time, at least, and it's more comfortable to play than my other one. Why I didn't go around playing this one whenever I was younger, I'll never know. I think it's because this one right here is just a larger body size than my smaller $7 acoustic guitar build. I actually signed my name right here underneath the strings. Because whenever I had built this, what I wanted to do was I wanted to go around and have people play the guitar who knew how to play guitar, and I wanted to see how well they could play it despite the fact that this guitar very much has a bunch of problems with it, and I just never got around to doing that. Whenever somebody would play it, I was going to have them sign their name to it. I still plan on doing that with this guitar, but I plan on doing that after I get it actually set up and fixed and properly in the proper orientation that it's supposed to be in. Okay, well, thanks for watching, folks. Yeah. As I play these old guitars and my skill sets revert to like the old skill sets that I used to have back when I played these guitars, I'm noticing that maybe I'm better at guitar than I thought that I was, because it seemed like no matter how hard I played these, and how much effort I put into trying to learn how to play them, I just never got good with them. And now that I'm half decent at a little bit of guitar, I'm noticing that I am not great with these. Definitely not nearly as good as I am with the guitars that have proper setups, that are actually harmonized properly, and that don't have actions that are, you know, 1.5 inches above what they're supposed to be. So maybe the instrument does matter, and maybe if you're using garbage tier guitars, you're not gonna get very good with them. That's one of the things I have noticed. I'm just not as good with these as I am with my actual legitimately set up guitars. And that's the nature of the beast. Whether or not a guitar is comfortable is going to determine how comfortable you are whenever you play it. Anyway, folks, I am preaching to the choir, I'm sure, if you're watching this video. More than likely, you are much better at guitar than I am, and I'm the one making a video about guitars. This is more or less me telling a story behind this old thing. And I wanted to show it off, like I said, before I get it redone, because once I get it redone, I think I won't be able to show it off, well, show off where it came from. So I wanted to show off the history behind it before I go about redoing it. And that's why I decided to make this video. So thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments below. The guitar community seems to be really helpful, and they're definitely some very, very good people. If you're in the guitar community, you're probably a pretty awesome, pretty sweet person. Despite the fact that I don't really know how to play guitar all that well, I'm working on learning how to play it better. And I'm hoping that as I progress with learning how to play it better, as I put up these YouTube videos, anyone who keeps up with this channel will be able to see my progress with where I started off to where I am ending. And that is the general plan with this right here. Oops, I just bumped the camera. I apologize about that, guys. People seem to really be liking my little stories that I tell with my guitars here, despite the fact that I can't play them very well. And I think that really is an attribution, that really attributes to just how fantastic the guitar community actually is and how supportive they are. Man, I absolutely love making the content and whatnot that I'm making for this channel. Although I do have a gun channel, and that one takes priority. Whenever I have time in the mornings to go ahead and make these videos, that's what I'll go ahead and I'll do, but that's not going to be something that happens very often. But I do have time this morning, and that's why I'm making these videos. So thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are down below. I'm very eager to hear if you guys have any stories about any various guitars that maybe have a similar situation like this, or maybe something you guys had growing up that fell apart in your hands, kind of like mine did. Yeah, at least the bridge didn't snap off, because that could have injured me. And at a young age, I didn't really think about that. I was just like, all right, the bridge is on, let's tune it up. And I tuned it up, and the bridge is like folding itself in half. But it's been like that for like a decade now, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna hold. At least for now. Anyway, folks, I'm rambling on at this point. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day.